Hey friend, welcome to Receipts and Reflections After the Hustle. This is a space for real conversations about life, business, healing, motherhood, and growth. I'm Charlisa, and I've lived enough life to know that hustle might get you started, but reflection is what helps you evolve. Some stories come with receipts, because y'all know I keep me some receipts. Some come with lessons. Either way, you're safe here, friend. So take a breath, get settled, and let's talk. Hey friends, now welcome back to Receipts and Reflections After the Hustle. Now today's episode, I'm already cracking up because this episode is for the woman who thought that she was healed until dating reminded her otherwise. This is for the woman who survived a lot, did a lot of work, and then stepped back into dating thinking, okay, I'm ready now. Okay. Only to realize, oh, this is different. Because love after survival is a whole different type of game. And today, I'm going to tell you a story. Picture it. 2017, Portland. Okay. One that still makes me laugh to this day. We can laugh about it now. At the time I was pissed, but today we can laugh about it. And it also makes me shake my doggone head. And then I want to talk about what it taught me. Okay. Now, this story happened post-divorce. And I want to say that up front because context matters. Y'all, I was out of practice. Okay. I had spent years in survival mode, parenting, rebuilding, healing, holding things together, figuring it out, like getting my life together. And dating was not the priority. Stability was. We had bills. We had bills. So, I was a little rocky. I was a little rusty, y'all. So when I decided to finally start dating again, I was hopeful, but again, I was rusty. Your girl was rusty. I had not dated in a good little minute. I hadn't dated in a long time. I hadn't met someone online before. I had never done that. And I was still recalibrating my sense of worth outside of survival, if we're going to keep it all the way real. And that part's important. Because when you come out of survival mode, you don't immediately step into discernment. Sometimes you step into hope and a couple prayers. So, y'all, I met this guy online. He lived in Seattle. Now, the conversation was cool. We was vibing. Nothing immediately alarming. There wasn't no red flags. Might have been a couple yellow ones, but no red flags, right? So he invites me to a Trailblazers game, and I'm like, oh, okay. He has the ability to plan. Okay. Now listen, y'all. This was not a last minute plan. This was planned almost like a month in advance. So I'm like, look at this man being a planner, being intentional. I'm really thinking this in my mind. I'm like, look at this man. He is intentional. He planned ahead. He's traveling. This is just like really giving thoughtful. Now, here's what I didn't do. Y'all pay attention. Notice what your girl didn't do. I didn't ask no questions. That's the first mistake. I didn't ask, do you have tickets already? I didn't know we needed to ask that in my defense. But I didn't ask it. I said, I didn't say like, what section are we sitting in? I didn't say, what's the plan? I just filled in the gaps with assumptions because I was like, oh, he is a planner. I love this. This is so awesome. That's lesson number one. Okay, we're going to come back to that because filling in the gaps with assumptions is what be having some FAFO moments. And I did, yeah. So the day comes. We get to the Moda Center or the Rose Garden as it used to be called, depending on how long you've been living in Portland. Okay, and we walk up to the entrance and I realize it was at this moment. Like where the BT, like how it starts off. I'm sure you're wondering how we got here. That's when the record screeched. Okay. And I realized this man don't have no tickets. Not, it wasn't like one of them, I left them at home. Not, I got it on my phone. This man didn't have no tickets, y'all. Okay. So I'm hot. I was like, listen, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And when I come back, you better have this figured out. Because I done got a babysitter. Okay. I done got off work early. You better figure it out. So when I come out, this man had bought general admission tickets. And for those who are a little bit more cultured, okay, and ain't really been in the trenches like that, because I had a moment that I didn't know I was struggling that bad either, okay? But apparently, general admission means you are only allowed to be in the building, but you don't have seats. It means you have permission to walk in and you can be admitted, but you ain't got no seats. Okay? At an NBA game. Okay. I'm going to give y'all a moment because I know by this point y'all probably laughing. And it's okay. I'm woman enough. I'm woman enough to take that L. Go on ahead and laugh. Get it on out. Okay. Are we done? Okay. So I'm just standing there trying to process this information politely. I'm trying to keep it together. I'm trying. I'm trying not to be rude. I'm trying not to embarrass him. I'm trying not to embarrass myself if we're going to keep it real. And then somehow, to this day, I still don't know how. I don't know the details. I don't know. But we ended up sitting in foldable chairs. Okay. And in the middle of the aisle. And I look around and it hits me. Y'all, we are sitting in the section reserved for the handicapped guests and the Make-A-Wish kids. Friend. Foldable chairs. In the ADA Make-A-Wish section at a professional basketball game. I remember looking around thinking, oh no, what? This cannot be happening. This can't be my life. And at the same time, I'm also sitting there like, Charlisa, girl, this is exactly your life right now. That's what you get because you just be doing stuff. Now, here's the part people always ask me. What did you do? Because in that moment, you do have options. You can call it out. You can walk away. You can minimize it. You can laugh it off. And let me be all the way real. I stayed. First of all, my phone had died. So I couldn't even call the Uber to leave. Okay. So that was, God be playing too much too. If I'm going to, skirt the blame to somebody. Because I'm sure he had a good kiki. Because he was like, I didn't even tell you to do that. But that's a different story. I stayed. And I didn't stay because I thought it was okay. It was also because I was still unlearning the instinct to make things comfortable for other people at my own freaking expense. And so we sat there for a good little minute. And I'm hot. And the game's happening. The game's happening technically. But mentally, I had already checked out. Because once your intuition speaks, you can't unhear it. The jokes didn't land the same. Everything he said got on my doggone nerves. The conversation felt thin. He was ugly all of a sudden. Okay? And the vibe was just off. And I realized something in real time. I wasn't enjoying myself. I was enduring, and that's a huge difference. So after we didn't make it all the way through the game, but whenever we left, there wasn't no big confrontation. There wasn't no argument. There wasn't no dramatic exit. We just parted ways. He did run alongside the car, like, so we ain't gonna have another date now, bruh. Sir, step aside. Step aside now, okay? Because I'm still triggered. You might get hit with this Malibu. I'm just saying, we just parted ways though. Okay? Thank the Lord. And later, of course, he followed up. But by then he was blocked. There wasn't no making no plans. There is no acting unusual, or acting like nothing had happened. And that's when, to me, it really clicked. Because for him, that night was fine. Everything went great for him. For me, though, that was some information. And this is something I need women to really hear. A situation can be acceptable to someone else, and it can still be unacceptable to you. You don't need agreement to trust your experience. Just because he laughing and giggling and sniggling and all that stuff don't mean that you're responsible for also enjoying yourself. It is okay to listen to your body and be like, this sucks. I hate this. I hate everything about this. And that's fine. Because low key, the real work was not about him. It was about me. And I had to ask myself some real uncomfortable questions. Like, why did I override my discomfort? Why did I try to be gracious instead of just being honest? Why did I convince myself it just really wasn't that bad? And the answer wasn't flattering, y'all, but it was freeing. Part of me was still operating from survival. Survival teaches you to be agreeable, to not be too much, not too much, to be grateful for effort even when it's sloppy as hell. Survival says, well, at least he tried. And healing says, girl, pay attention. And here's the deeper realization. I wasn't mad at him. I was disappointed in myself. Not in a shaming way, but more of in an awakening way. Because I realized I had outgrown certain tolerances before I had fully updated my standards. And that gap, that space between growth and discernment is really where a lot of women get stuck. You've healed enough to want better, but not enough to walk away as quickly as you should. And that's a transition phase, friend. And it deserves compassion, not criticism. Now, that night taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. It taught me that attraction's not alignment. It taught me that effort is not the same as competence. It taught me that liking me does not mean someone is equipped for me. I mean, of course you like me. It's me. Okay? But you're not for me. And it also taught me this. Romance without reliability is stress. Chemistry without consideration is chaos. Chaos. Okay? And being chosen is not the same as being considered. What I know now is very simple. I don't need grand gestures. I don't need you to try to impress me. I don't need sparks if they come with anxiety. I need intentionality. I need steadiness. I need someone who thinks things through. Because love after survival doesn't need excitement. It doesn't need all the bells and whistles. It just needs safety. You hear me? It just needs safety. Now, before we close, I want you, friend, to go and sit with this gently. What have you laughed off that was actually a warning? And where have you been polite instead of keeping it all the way real? And what would dating look like if you trusted your discernment more than your hope? There's no shame in the past versions of you, but there is responsibility in who you choose to be now. Because listen, y'all, love after survival, man, that's something different. It's different. And that's okay. It's totally okay. Okay. Now that y'all done had a good little kiki at my expense, I hope at least you walked away with something. Okay. And I will meet you back here next Monday. Until next time, friend. Before we close, thank you for sharing this moment with me. If something from today's episode stayed with you, whether it be a thought, a feeling, a reflection, I hope you give yourself space to sit with it. These conversations are meant to meet you where you are, not to rush you, and definitely not to fix you. Be gentle with yourself this week, sis. I'll meet you right back here next Monday. This is Receipts and Reflections After the Hustle, because after the hustle, we slow down and we choose peace.